Hey, welcome back to the channel. I am the Stock Brother, and you're on the Stock Brother channel. My name is Jeremy. You all welcome back today. What we're going to talk about today on the channel, we've been discussing, and I've been discussing in some of my circles, diversification. And when you talk about diversifying a portfolio and how you go about doing that, what are the first steps you want to take in order to diversify your portfolio? And one of the things that is a major part of diversification, first off, that you have to know is different sectors of the market. So that's what we're going to get into today. We're going to start a small series again about diversification and again, what sectors that you might need to explore in order to diversify your portfolio. So we're going to get into that today. You all go down there and smash the like button if you like the content. That helps the algorithm a whole lot. Also, subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel. We discuss the stock market, matters of the stock market, and I just try to give you some information to help you on your journey toward achieving financial independence and retiring early. So you all smash that subscribe button. Also hit the notification bell over there. It'll let you know every time I put a video out. And let's go ahead and get into these sectors here. So first off, diversifying your portfolio. Why would you want to do this? The reason why you want to diversify your portfolio is and diversify over sectors, different sectors of the market, is to try to negate some of the risk, try to lower the risk factor that if something or some major event happens and it happens to hurt one particular sector very bad, it might not hurt another sector as bad that you might have in your portfolio. For example, if you have a lot of stocks and all of your stocks are going to be spread across the restaurant industry. As you all know, we had a 100-year event that's happened here recently, and it hurt a lot of restaurants. A lot of restaurants had to close their doors. And it wasn't because they were doing bad business. It was that they were mandated to close their doors. So if you have a portfolio and you love restaurants and you understand the restaurant sector and you understand all of that, and you have all of your eggs in one basket, or you have all of your stocks that you have in the restaurant industry, when that 100-year event came by, or when whatever might happen to that particular industry that causes restaurants to go down or causes stocks to go down in that sector, you don't want your whole portfolio to go down with the restaurants. You want it to be able to, you want to be able to diversify. So maybe you have stocks in a different industry. So if that industry goes down, another industry might go up or might benefit from the same pandemic or from the same event that might happen. Now, when you start to talk about these sectors and you talk about how these sectors are broken down, there are 11 sectors that I'm going to be telling you about, and these are going to be like the main sectors that we're going to talk about here. Now, these 11 sectors can be broken down further. There's like 24 industry groups that you can break it down into, 69 different industries that you can break it down even further, and also 150 different sub-industries that you can kind of break it down into. So these are just the major categories, the 11 major ones that I'm going to be giving you today. Again, these can break down even further, but for the most part, these are the sectors that you're going to be looking at here. Now, the first sector we're going to be looking at here is going to be the utilities sector. Now, when it comes to companies in this particular sector, they're going to be companies that offer water services. They're going to be companies that offer gas services, electricity services for people. These are going to be just your regular electric companies, water companies, and gas companies. In this particular series, we're going to go and we're going to break these down further and get into some companies that are actually in these particular sectors as well. But for right now, we're just going to go through and kind of take a look at what these sectors are, so you can have a well-rounded view of how to diversify and how to jump from these sectors and be able to know what these sectors are. The next major sector that you want to look at here is going to be the consumer staples sector. Now, when you talk about this sector here, it's going to be the sector with all the things you're going to need on a regular basis. You're going to need paper products. They're going to be the food distributors that are going to be in this sector. These are going to be all the regular products that you need on an everyday basis. Just to get into one company, when you talk about consumer staples, just to give you a better idea, Walmart is more like a consumer staples type of company. So just things that you're going to need every day on a regular basis is a type of consumer staple companies that will be in this particular sector. It's more of a defensive sector as well. There are more defensive sectors, and when I say that, I mean there is less volatility in consumer staples sector than other sectors might have. So it's a little bit less volatile when you talk about consumer staples. Now, getting into the third sector that we're going to talk about here, it's going to be the healthcare sector. Now, in this particular sector, it's just like it sounds. It's going to be everything that's going to be dealing with healthcare. There are pharmaceutical companies, drug companies, biopharmaceutical companies. There are companies like, for example, like J&J, Johnson & Johnson. These companies that offers things for healthcare. Basically are going to have all of the different companies, healthcare type companies in this particular sector. So that's going to be sector number 3 is going to be the healthcare sector. And again, we'll go into these a little bit further, a little bit deeper in this series. But today we're just going to kind of hit on them so you know what they are. So the healthcare sector. The next sector we're going to get into here, number 4 on the list, is going to be one of my favorite sectors. It's going to be the real estate sector. So when you talk about the real estate sector, it's pretty self-explanatory. There are a lot of companies in this particular sector that own real estate. Most of the time, when you talk about the business models, they're pretty easy to understand for most of these companies. They buy the real estate, they own it, they lease it out to other tenants, and they collect rents on it. So not to mention real estate investment trusts. And I did a video called Dividends, a Dividends video, Dividends Explained is what it's called. And it kind of hit on real estate investment trusts when you talk about the dividends, what they're mandated to pay, and also kind of gives you a little bit of an understanding of the business model as well when you talk about a real estate investment trust. And when you talk about a lot of the companies in this particular sector. So you might want to go check that video out. I also did a couple of other videos. I have one called Real Estate versus the Stock Market. You can check out that one. It's a pretty good one as well that kind of gives you an idea, an understanding of the differences between investing, the pros and cons to investing in real estate, physical real estate, and investing in the stock market itself and investing in REITs. Also, you can check out FRT or Federal Realty Investment Trust. I did a little stock analysis on the company, not too in depth, but it will give you an idea of that company as well. And when you talk about real estate investment trusts and different companies in that particular sector. So you all go ahead and check that out. Be sure and check out those other videos. And that is the real estate sector. So the next sector we're going to get into here is going to be the communication services sector. Now, when you talk about communication services, these are going to be basically like telecommunication companies, media companies, a lot of the media giants that are out there. These are those type of companies. An example of one of those companies is like Verizon. Verizon is like a telecommunications company. Comcast is another one that you might consider to be in this particular sector. It's more like just media and telecommunications in this particular sector. So moving on to sector number 6 here of the 11. This next sector is the more exciting sector. It's the sector that's been on a run, on a tear here lately. It's going to be the information technology sector or the IT sector. Now, this sector is going to be basically tech companies. This is where you're going to find your Apples, This is where you're going to find your Cisco's, a couple of other different companies. It's going to be more tech companies in the information technology sector. Again, when you talk about diversification, a lot of people will be tech heavy. They will be very tech heavy and go buy nothing but tech companies. But in this case, yeah, tech companies have been running, but if tech companies were to back off and slack off, like you've kind of seen here recently, since I've made this video here, then you want to be able to have your portfolio diversified. You don't want to have all of your eggs in one basket here. So that's going to be the information technology sectors, basically going to be tech companies. Now, getting into this next sector, it's going to be consumer discretionary. Now, consumer discretionary is also called consumer cyclical as well. So you might hear it called both names. But for the most part, when you talk about consumer cyclical or consumer discretionary, those are going to be companies like auto companies, hotels, restaurants, apparel companies, different things like that. Those type of companies are what you consider consumer discretionary. Basically, a customer they spend their money at their own discretion in a way. So you have these type of companies when you're spending on autos, hotels, apparel, different stuff like that. That's the reason why they call this the consumer discretionary sector here. Now, getting into sector number 8 here, we're going to talk about energy. Energy is going to be this sector here. And when you talk about the energy sector, it is just that. It's basically energy. When you talk about being able to, and I guess I'll put it this way. The difference between energy and like utilities is that energy companies are the companies that mostly they do refining of products. They actually pull oil and pull gas and pull these materials out of the ground. So instead of just offering it to a customer from a utility standpoint, these people actually, when you talk about an energy company, they actually go out and explore and find oil and drill oil and pull it out of the ground and store it. These particular companies are going to be your energy company. Moving on here, the next sector, you're going to have your financials. And when you talk about financials, these are basically going to be your banks. These are going to be institutions that actually go out and lend money to other people. Most of your banking establishments and all of your financial institutions are going to be under financials. So it's pretty self-explanatory when you talk about the financials. They're basically going to be your banks. There's a couple of other companies in there, and we'll get into some of those companies later on in this series in regards to when we break down the financials a little bit further. But for the most part, just know that those are going to be your banking establishments. Getting into sector number 10 here. Number 10, we're going to have the industrials sector. Now, when you talk about industrials, there are going to be companies in this particular sector that build stuff. These are going to be the companies that build all of your ships. These are going to be the companies that build your planes. These are going to be all of those different type of companies that are more building companies. These are going to be the companies that build all the big machinery for excavations and different things like that. That's what the industrial sector is going to be more so. It's going to have all of those different type of companies like Boeing, for example. They build planes. So Caterpillar, for example, again, they build big time machinery when you talk about excavating and different things like that. Those are going to be your industrial companies that are in the industrial sector. And you all, last but not least, we're going to get to the 11th sector here on the list. This is going to be the materials sector. Now, when you talk about materials or the materials sector, these are going to be raw materials. These are going to be like your mining companies, the companies that go dig for gold or precious metals. These are going to be like your logging companies and different things like that that actually take raw materials from the earth. So for the most part, that is going to be your materials section. Also like chemical companies that have raw chemicals and different things like that. So that's going to be your materials sector. You all, again, this is just a video here to try to give you a little bit of better understanding of the different sectors and how to be able to look at these different sectors and look at your portfolio to be able to try to diversify over these sectors and be able to try to diversify your portfolio a little bit here. So again, we're going to get into some more videos, and we're going to get into some breakdowns of these particular sectors and some of the companies that you might want to watch for in these particular sectors. So we're going to get into it a little bit more, please believe. So don't worry about that. You all, I want to thank you all for coming in again today and coming to the channel and giving me a chance to enlighten you a little bit about the stock market today. Thank you for popping in. Don't forget to hit the like button, smash the subscribe button as well, and hit the notification bell. You all also keep in mind, I have some links down here in the description that you can take advantage of. If you haven't started a stock brokerage account and you are looking to start one, most definitely hit those links down there. They will give you some free money. They'll give you some free stocks when you open your account and when you deposit some money. You have to do a little bit of reading just to decide which one you want to go with, whether it be Robinhood. I have a link down there for Webull. Also have one down there for the more passive investor, which is M1 Finance. So take advantage of the links down there. Go ahead and click them and get your journey started when you talk about getting into the stock market. And if you have any other questions, comments, anything at all, don't hesitate to leave them down in the comments section, and I'll do my best to try to answer them for you. So you all, thank you for coming in again, and I will see you again on the next video. You all have a good rest of the day. Bye-bye.